Welcome to the deep dive.
Yeah.
If you've ever felt, stuck between understanding English perfectly and actually speaking it naturally, well, today we're offering you a potential shortcut. We're diving into a technique that some sources call uh, maybe the single most effective way to accelerate fluency and really improve your pronunciation. We're talking about shadowing.
Yeah, and what's interesting is how simple it sounds, mechanically anyway, but the effect it has, neurologically, is pretty profound.
So what is it exactly?
Shadowing is basically listening to good quality spoken language and then immediately repeating it out loud. You're like an echo.
An echo.
Yeah, you're trying to mimic absolutely the pronunciation, obviously, but also the rhythm, the intonation, even the speaker's emotion.
And when you say immediately, you really mean immediately, don't you? Like not waiting for the sentence to end.
Exactly. It's almost simultaneous. We're talking maybe, 150 milliseconds behind the speaker? A tiny delay.
Wow, okay. That tight timing sounds key.
It is. And this whole structured approach, well, it was really popularized by Alexander Arguelles, the linguist and polyglot. He brought a real discipline to the idea of just imitating.
Got it. So our mission today isn't just to define shadowing. We've looked at the sources to figure out why mimicking like this actually works on the brain.
Right. And then we'll give you the step-by-step on how to start doing it effectively. Like, maybe tomorrow.
And we've got some advanced tips too, right? Things the pros use to get the best results.
Definitely. So let's jump in. Section 1, the science of the echo. Why is this, forcing yourself to speak with the audio work so much better than just listening? Or those old repeat after me drills?
Okay, hold on. I have to push back on that simultaneous part right away. If I'm trying to listen and speak at the same time, isn't that just going to be confusing? How can I even hear properly if I'm talking over the source?
But that's actually the core of why it works. And yeah, it feels really hard at first. It's supposed to.
Yeah.
It forces your brain into this high-intensity mode, dual processing. Yeah. You're training the brain's phonological loop, that's its working memory, for sound, to handle input and output basically at the same time. And that pressure, well, it stops your brain from taking the slow route. It can't translate.
Ah, I see. So instead of hearing dog, thinking Perot,
Yeah.
then figuring out how to say dog, you skip the middle steps.
You're essentially building a direct line from your ear to your mouth. And this constant feedback loop, it strengthens how you hold on to language chunks in the short term, not just words, but phrases.
And you mentioned it's physical too.
Oh, absolutely. It's a physical rehearsal. Our sources call it building muscle memory.
Is that like how a pianist practices scales? Their fingers just know where to go without thinking about each note.
That's a perfect analogy, yeah. Every language needs very specific movements, right? Lips, tongue, jaw, the articulators. Maybe the sound needs your tongue in a place it never goes in, say French or Mandarin. Shadowing physically trains your mouth to make those shapes.
So it helps reduce your natural accent over time.
Exactly. You're training motor skills, really, not solving grammar puzzles in your head.
But for people who want to sound natural, not just correct, the sources say the real magic is in the music of the language.
Absolutely. We have to talk about prosody.
Prosody, that's the melody, right? The rhythm, the pitch changes.
Precisely. Without good prosody, even perfect pronunciation can sound, robotic. Shadowing teaches you the feel of English rhythm.
And English rhythm is tricky because it's what linguists call a stress-timed language, isn't it?
Correct. Unlike, say, Spanish or French, where each syllable gets roughly equal time, English stresses the important words, nouns, verbs, adjectives.
And the little words.
The function words, articles like the, prepositions like to or of, helping verbs, they often get reduced, almost swallowed. Shadowing forces you to feel and reproduce that rhythm.
Can you give a quick example? How those function words vanish?
Sure. Take a simple phrase like, I need to get a cup of coffee. A learner might say every word clearly, I need to get a cup of coffee.
Right, very deliberate.
But a native speaker, it sounds more like, I need to get a cup of coffee. See how to, oi, and of just blend and shrink.
Yeah, definitely. Need to get a cuppa.
Shadowing makes you practice producing those natural reductions. It's essential for sounding fluent.
Okay, this is where the science really hits home for learners. We talked about proceduralization earlier. Why is that the key to real fluency, to stopping that mental translation?
Proceduralization. Yeah, it's about how knowledge moves in the brain. It goes from your conscious analytical memory, where you think about grammar rules.
The slow part.
Right, the declarative memory. It moves over to your fast, automatic, procedural memory, like habits. Think about learning to drive a manual car.
Oh yeah, at first it's all Clutch in, shift gear, ease off clutch, add gas. So much thinking.
Exactly. A conscious calculation for every single step. Shadowing skips that.
Now,
By repeating natural sentence structures, common phrases, collocations at speed, you're basically burning them directly into that procedural automatic memory.
so you don't think about the grammar. It just comes out right.
After enough practice, yes. The right phrase for the context just close automatically without conscious effort. And that is fluency.
Okay, I'm sold on the why. Now, how do we actually do it? Where do you find the right voice, the right stuff to shadow? That's section 2, the practical guide.
Right. Step 1 is picking your source material. The foundation. Needs to be clear. Audio, obviously. A native speaker with a natural sounding accent.
And crucial tip number 1 is personal.
Very personal. You need to pick a voice you actually like listening to. Someone whose way of speaking resonates with you.
Huh. So don't pick someone whose voice grates on your nerves after 2 minutes.
Exactly. Think about it. You're going to listen to this person a lot. If you dislike the voice, you create this subconscious resistance. It makes learning feel like a chore.
Find someone who sounds like you want to sound. Makes sense. What kind of sources work best?
TED Talks are often good, usually very clear speakers. Podcasts on topics you enjoy. Audiobooks can work well, too.
At length? Should I try shadowing a whole chapter?
No, definitely not at first. Start short, really short. Maybe 30 seconds to, say, 3 minutes of audio, max.
Why so short?
Focus. You want to master that small chunk, not just skim a long piece. And pick something slightly challenging, but not totally overwhelming. You shouldn't need a dictionary every 5 seconds.
Okay, got the material. What's step 2 before the echoing starts?
The preliminary listen. Crucial step. Before you even try to speak, just listen to your short clip several times. Maybe 1 time, maybe 5 times. Just listen.
Passively.
Yes. Pay attention to the rhythm, the pauses, the emotion, where the speaker links words together. Get a feel for it first. Know what you're aiming for.
Right. Then step 3. Choose your method. Looks like there are 2 main ways.
Yeah, depends on your situation and focus. Option A is the classic simultaneous shadowing, the echo thing we talked about.
Play and repeat almost instantly. No pausing.
Correct. This is great for building that automatic fluency. And you can do it while you're busy walking, washing dishes, driving.
Okay, but if I really want to focus, maybe option B, pause and repeat.
Exactly. That's the deep dive approach. You listen to just a short phrase, maybe a few words, hit pause, then you repeat it, really concentrating on matching everything.
Sounds like you'd want a transcript for that method.
Ideally, yes. Which brings us to step 4, using the transcript.
How vital is reading along?
Well, initially, it's pretty important. Reading along helps you understand the meaning, the global picture. You don't want to just parrot sounds without knowing what they mean.
Right, that wouldn't help the proceduralization much.
Exactly. But as you get better, the goal is to rely less on the text. Eventually, you want to be able to shadow just by listening, purely by ear.
One last practical thing. What if I find the perfect speaker, perfect topic, but they talk like a machine gun? Too fast.
Simple. Use the technology. Pretty much all players let you slow down the playback speed.
Like to 75% speed, or even half speed.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't be afraid to slow it down. It gives your mouth time to form the sounds correctly, and your brain time to process those tricky little reductions and links between words.
Okay, practicality's covered. Let's get into the crucial final section, optimization. Once you're doing it, what's the biggest mistake people make? The thing that stops progress?
By far, the biggest pitfall is doing it on autopilot, just going through the motions.
Becoming a parrot.
Exactly. A parrot without intention. You're making the sounds, but your brain isn't really engaged in fixing anything. You just end up reinforcing your existing habits, mistakes, and all.
So mindless repetition is pointless, or even harmful.
It really can be, which leads to the crucial tip 2. Set an intention every single time.
A micro goal for the session?
Precisely. Before you hit play on that short clip, decide specifically what you're working on today. Is it nailing the difference between ship and sheep?
Okay.
Is it making sure you pronounce all the ed endings on past tense verbs? Is it focusing only on the rise and fall of questions?
So that specific focus turns it from passive repetition into an active challenge.
That's the key. It forces your brain to notice the details and make changes.
Got it. Crucial tip 3 sounds painful, but necessary. Recording yourself. We all hate hearing our own voice, but why is this non-negotiable?
Because how you hear your voice inside your head is totally different from how it sounds to others, or on a recording.
How so?
When you're speaking, Your brain does this kind of filtering. It smooths over little mistakes, but when you listen back to a recording, you're hearing it objectively from the outside.
And suddenly you notice the flub sounds or the weird intonation you missed while speaking.
Exactly. Those little errors become glaringly obvious. It allows for real self-correction.
And you can compare your recording directly against the original speaker, right, to see exactly where the gaps are.
That comparison is gold. And related to this focus, we need to stress quality over quantity.
Meaning?
It's much, much better to take one short paragraph and shatter it repeatedly, really drilling down over several days until it feels totally natural.
Getting it perfect.
Than it is to try and shadow, say, a whole podcast episode just once and then move on.
Yeah.
Deep repetition builds retention.
Makes sense. Okay, finally, for listeners who've got the basics down, what about advanced techniques? Pushing it further.
Yeah, there's some intense variations. One is called chorusing, developed by Dr. Ali Kushilin.
Chorusing, like singing.
Sort of.
Yeah.
It involves taking a tiny piece of audio, maybe just 2 or 3 seconds, even a couple of words, and looping it over and over and over again for minutes.
Wow, that sounds intense. What's the goal?
Extreme precision. It's designed to really hammer the connection between your ear and mouth, forcing you to match the native sound exactly. Great for really stubborn pronunciation issues or accent reduction.
Okay. And the other one, parashadowing. Sounds complicated.
It's definitely advanced. Parashadowing takes it beyond pure imitation. You listen to the speaker, but instead of echoing their exact words, you instantly rephrase the meaning using different words, synonyms, different sentence structures.
Whoa. So you're listening, processing meaning, accessing vocabulary, and restructuring sentences all on the fly.
Pretty much. It's like simultaneous interpretation training. It forces incredibly fast processing and really develops your ability to think flexibly in English. It's a serious cognitive workout.
Okay. That's definitely advanced. So let's wrap up this deep dive on shadowing. The takeaway seems to be it's powerful because it builds that physical muscle memory.
Right, for pronunciation.
It trains your ear for the music, the prosody of English.
Making you sound natural.
And maybe most importantly, it helps you break that translation habit by making language structures automatic. Proceduralization.
Exactly. Stopping the thinking, starting the flowing. And consistency is everything. Short, focused sessions, daily beat long, occasional ones every time. 10-15 minutes can make a huge difference.
And remember the mantra.
Quality, not quantity.
Yeah.
And always, always set an intention before you start. What are you fixing today?
Perfect. Okay, final thought for you to consider. If shadowing works by basically teaching your brain to automate complex stuff just by intentionally imitating an expert, what does that imply for learning other things? Beyond language. What happens when you consciously choose which experts you shadow in your career or your creative pursuits? It kind of reframes the whole idea of choosing your role models, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's a really interesting thought. Who are you echoing in the rest of your life? Something to definitely think about.